Hello everyone, welcome to my podcast Running Through Life. I literally just recorded the same exact thing in Turkish, and I don't know if I'm going to continue in Turkish or English in this podcast, so I just wanted to give both a go and see which one I'm going to feel more comfortable with. And depending on that, and obviously depending on like the reactions that I'm going to get from my family, friends, and like people around me, I'm going to decide if I'm going to do this podcast in Turkish or in English. First of all, let me tell you why I'm in between like doing this in either Turkish or in English. So first of all, obviously Turkish is my mother tongue. I feel much more comfortable expressing myself in Turkish, and if I feel like it's a bit more natural in Turkish, and I'm a bit funnier in Turkish as well. I think it's just like much more natural. In English, when I'm trying to make a joke, by the time that I make the joke, the other person might be already bored. So I think Turkish is the right answer for me because it's easier for me. I'm more comfortable. But here's a little detail. Because I only speak in Turkish maybe once a day or maybe less, like unless I speak to my friends and family, I don't speak in Turkish. So I use English on a much more daily basis. I feel like the flow in English is more natural for me. With Turkish, I think sometimes like I get stuck for a moment, but that happens in English as well. The reason why I'm hesitating, why I shouldn't do it in English, is because I feel self-conscious about it. That's literally the only answer, because when you put it on like pros and cons, first of all, I can reach to a much larger audience in English because everyone speaks in English and it's more universal, obviously, and the opportunities are bigger. But I feel self-conscious in terms of, what if I make a grammar mistake? What if I'm making a stupid sentence? Like I can always edit, obviously, but I can edit to a level, basically. And also, I'm very self-conscious about my accent because I think it's somewhere in between. It's not English, absolutely not. It's not American. It's not Turkish. I'm scared that like someone who's native English speaker might find my accent like funny, and they will be like, what are you talking about? And just like shut down and wouldn't want to listen to me. So I feel self-conscious about it, but obviously the opportunities are much larger. Anyways, I will see depending on what people think, and I'm gonna upload both videos on YouTube, and depending on which one does better, I think I might just continue with that. Anyways, why Running Through Life? Let me tell you how I decided the name of this podcast. So I was speaking with ChatGPT and I told ChatGPT that like I want this podcast to be about navigating life in your 20s because I feel like I'm having a quarter life crisis. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I don't know where my life is going, and I feel like I'm not alone 100% because I know I have friends who feel similar things to me. Maybe not like exactly 100%. What goes through my mind is also going through their mind. I do know that there are people out there who resonate with me, who will resonate with me if I start doing a podcast, if I put my thoughts into a video, into a recording, because I like journaling. First of all, my mind is going really fast as I'm like writing, so I can't like catch up with what's going on in my mind. And I was like, there has to be other way. And I was like, why not podcast? I've been wanting to do it for forever. And because I'm in this like quarter life crisis and I'm struggling to find a way out, and what's the answer to this? And I don't know what I should be doing with my life. I think that I'm not alone in this. So I said to ChatGPT, I want the name to be around this kind of framework. Like, tell me some name ideas, please. And then like it gave me some sort of ideas, but I was like, you know what? I just want to put some like personality in there. What about my name? What about like some other features? And I mentioned to ChatGPT that I love running. I like to run half marathons. And ChatGPT was like, what about running through life? I was like, you know what? I love it. First of all, like it has some sort of like personality in there, but at the same time, we're literally running through life right now. Like this is a journey, and I feel like this is such an amazing name. It has to be it. And I did some like artwork on my iPad, as you've already seen probably if you're watching this or listening to this. I hope the sound quality is fine, by the way, because this is like a 30-pound microphone. Anyways, so this is going to be my podcast, and I'm going to be talking through what goes in my mind, what goes in my life, and all the other things that probably my peers, my friends, people around me, all the other things that probably people in their 20s think about, but cannot verbalize, cannot say, because maybe they're too afraid, maybe they're scared, worried, or they just don't have the safe space to do that. So I want this to be like a safe space where I'm going to be talking about these kinds of things and where people can resonate. And this can also be like a life update podcast for my friends and family. They can just watch this and see what I'm up to, because I'm very bad with messaging, actually. Like when people message me, literally the time that I go back to them is like maybe 2 months later. Anyways, I'm guilty. Anyways, I like speaking as well, because I do send voice messages to my friends like that are like 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes long, and they love listening to them, obviously, because they get back to me. There's a communication going on back and forth, even though it may take like 2 months for us to get back to each other. Obviously, I do have like lots to say. So I was like, you know what, I want to carry this to a next level, because I need some time where I'm doing things that I like and I love. And do I love podcasting? I have no idea. This is literally the first time I'm recording, I'm doing anything with it. But I do need some more time in my life where I'm sparing that time to things that I like. It's some sort of a self-care, basically, because right now my biggest crisis is my career, basically. Not specifically like what I'm doing at work, not about that, but like career-wise, I feel so confused and I don't know what I'm doing with my life. And 20s is a weird phase in your life, I think. Like every decade, your life obviously changes a lot, like from 10 to 20, 20 to 30. I assume I'm not 30 yet, I'm 26, but the changes are very dramatic from 20 to 30, for instance. Like even within a year, when you're in your 20s, you graduate from university, you start a new life, you get into a relationship, you might marry, you might have kids. Like it's just such a weird time that your life changes drastically, 180 degrees basically. And my life has already changed massively, but I feel like I need a bigger change. I'm getting that ick where spending a majority of your time in front of a laptop on a desk is not the life. This is my ick, basically. This is the career dilemma. This is the career crisis that I'm having at the moment. I'm not happy with spending my 9 to 5 sitting in front of a laptop and doing some sort of like corporate work. And I don't know what's the alternative. I don't know what I can do, what I should be doing. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to create this podcast and I'm going to be talking about these kinds of like crisis that probably some other 20-year-olds are feeling. The reason why I need more space in my life doing things that I like is because I'm spending majority of my time sitting in front of a laptop and desk, and I don't like it. And I do already have hobbies. I like crocheting, I love going to the gym, I love running. What else? I love reading. So I do have hobbies, but I was like, I need something else that is going to inspire not only me, but hopefully some people around me. I did try social media before, by the way. Like I'm kind of still trying, I would say. I do have an Instagram account, a TikTok account, mostly related to running. I did try YouTube, but it requires an insane amount of time and effort just to like create something. And I was like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to become a podcast influencer. Maybe I will, who knows? But you need to be consistent with those kinds of stuff. And maybe consistency is not really my best feature, I would say. But I was like, you know what? I need something else. I need something more simple, easier, that can be accessible through multiple platforms. Basically, I'm going to upload this onto YouTube and podcast platforms as well. So I just want to talk about these career dilemmas in here, and I hope you can resonate with that, because I think there's so many other people out there who think the life is not just sitting in front of a laptop, because that's going to be our life for the next 40 years anyways. And I can't believe I already had this change, like from uni to just corporate work life, and I'm already working this, and I'm not going to stop working for the next 40 years of my life. This feels so scary. And you might just say, okay, go traveling then. Like it's easier to say this, but like, you know, changing your life upside down, moving out of your flat, like what am I going to do with my stuff? Like I'm living in England, my family's not even here. I can't just like pack my backpack and go traveling and dump everything into my parents' garage. Like things are different for me, obviously. Yeah, like quitting this corporate life and stable income is also very scary, because at the end of the day, I need to pay for my rent. I need to have some sort of like healthcare, etc., etc. There are a million things that are going through my mind, and I envy those people who can genuinely quit their like corporate job and start doing something completely different. I'm looking for that different thing at the moment. Like hopefully this podcast, this talking through my thoughts process is going to help me figuring out what I want in my life. And also you can witness my growth journey. Hopefully this will be a growth journey, by the way. I'm not necessarily, by the way, fighting with the situation that I'm in right now. Like I'm not like hating what I do every day, or I'm not in an active battle to get out of this situation that I'm in right now. I'm just slowly trying to figure it out. I know what I don't want, but I don't know what I want in life and like career wise. So I want to figure it out basically. And I want to figure out what's out there for me. What are my options? Maybe what I can achieve, like maybe I need to improve myself, like grow myself in certain areas, which I'm totally open to. But I want to figure out what was made for me, what's my purpose, what I'm doing with my life. Because at the end of the day, I feel like I need to be doing something more productive, more inspirational than just sitting in front of a laptop. I'm going to be figuring this journey out in this podcast. I don't think you can just figure it out and that's going to be the end of it. Life is a long and growing journey, and I'm a part of it. I'm only 26 years old, and I'm going to grow until the last second, basically. I'm going to grow, change, learn something, teach someone something else. So hopefully I can inspire you to be here every week. Thank you so much for joining in today.